Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got a couple things I want to talk about today about Connor Bedard, and it's not just because of, the performance last night against the Calgary Flames where he had 3 primary assists and as well as an extremely impressive goal to put him in second place in the entire NHL in points. It's not because of that. It's just because there were a couple things on social media today that caught my eye, and I decided, you know what, I do need to make a video about this, so here we are. The first thing I want to talk about today is this Ben Pope tweet, to which he said, "It shouldn't be ignored how much Andrei Burakovsky is boosting Bedard's scorching hot streak. Their chemistry is reviving his own career too. Burakovsky's up to 12 points in 14 games now, including 4 goals in his last 5. Now, I don't want to take anything away from Andrei Burakovsky because he has been great to start the season. He has been significantly better than he was the past couple seasons in Seattle. But I did reply to this tweet saying, we've seen Bedard turn Kurashev into a 50-plus point scorer, Donato a 30-plus goal scorer, and now he's reviving Burakovsky's career. I'm chalking this up to the Connor Bedard effect." Now, forgive me, I have to use my pattern recognition skills here and just acknowledge the fact that Connor Bedard is the common denominator here. Connor Bedard made me look foolish last year. Heading into the 24-25 season, at the start of Chicago Hockey Radio last year, I was saying that I thought Philipp Kurashev was going to be a piece. Like, I thought Philipp Kurashev was going to be a guy that that was going to be like an important pillar of a winning team. Obviously, that's not the case. If you've watched Philipp Kurashev, you know that's not true. Bedard got me, though. Bedard completely played a prank on me and made me believe that just because of how he made Philipp Kurashev look. And it wasn't just Kurashev, right? Like, whether it was Foligno or Kurashev or Donato or Burakovsky or Ryan Green, like, if you would have told me, or if you would have told anyone before this season that 15 games in, the Chicago Blackhawks would be in a second wildcard spot with the first line containing Ryan Green and Andrei Burakovsky, you would have been laughed out of the conversation. But that's where we're at, and it's because of the way Connor Bedard has played so far. I mean, he's been absolutely fantastic, and just like all great players, Connor Bedard elevates the guys around him. That is the true mark of a great, and Connor Bedard has done it his entire career. Heading into the season, whatever questions there were about Connor Bedard, whether it was his speed and his ability to create separation, or his defensive ability and his commitment to the defensive side of the game, or whether it was his strength and his ability to get on the forecheck, Connor Bedard has gone out this past offseason and answered all those questions, in my mind at least. Like, and any concern I would have had about Connor Bedard heading into year 3, he's addressed them and more. I almost feel like, I understand what Ben Pope's saying here, but I just feel like in a way it's almost a disservice to what Connor Bedard has worked on individually. And now we've seen it 3 years in a row, and I just feel like I have to call a spade a spade. It's because of Connor Bedard. Like, I think you could put any sort of middle 6 forward on Connor Bedard's line, and he'd turn them into a 25 goal scorer in the National Hockey League. Like, I just think he's got that unique ability to make his line mates better. And I wanted to say that because this is not the thing that really grinded my gears. Look, so this is Steve Peters on the What Chaos podcast. It's a great show. And I'm just going to play the clip here. So you guys,
veteran good players. Well, that's not about winning anymore. Like, you need these young players. That Anaheim Duck team is phenomenal to watch. But Macklin Celebrini is the best, hands down. He's the guy. Bedard's a nice player, but Bedard needs players around him to be good for him to be good. Macklin Celebrini can do it by himself, and I think that's the differentiator between those two. Macklin Celebrini is absolutely elite, and I just wish for his sake and maybe for hockey's.
Okay. So Connor Bedard needs great players around him to be great. Not only do I completely disagree with that take, like not only do I wholeheartedly think that is false, I actually think the Chicago Blackhawks going forward should build contrary to what he just said. Like, I think if the Chicago Blackhawks get an elite scorer, like an elite playmaker or like an all-star, whether it's through free agency or through a trade down the line here, I'd want to see that guy on the second line. Put that guy in the middle six. Put that guy with the Frank Nazars or the Oliver Moores. I think the way this Blackhawks team should go forward is you put solid two-way guys on the wings of Connor Bedard, give them the toughest matchup every single night, which they have thus far into the season. Connor Bedard's line, Burakovsky and Green, have faced the toughest matchup every single night. I think Connor Bedard is evolving into a true 1C that you feel comfortable giving the toughest defensive assignments to every night, and he's still going to create offense just because of his ability. And I think we've already started to see this. Now that Jason Dickinson's been out for a few games, we're seeing Jeff Blashill use the Connor Bedard line more and more frequently for the defensive zone draws. When the game's on the line, there's an important draw in the defensive zone where you need three players to go out there and get the puck out of the zone and make a play. Jeff Blashill's used that Connor Bedard line pretty consistently now. And so if you have the type of talent like Connor Bedard as your 1C, for the next decade and a half here, a guy that's going to be able to go out there every single night and compete against the best players in the world, the other team's top guys every single night, while also being able to contribute offensively, you're in a perfect situation to stack your roster because you don't have to load up your first line and you can just kill teams with your depth. And so I really think this take here by Steve Peters is misguided and not founded on reality, to be honest with you. Just from what I've seen this year from Connor Bedard, he's completely driven play every single night. I don't have any stats handy, but I would imagine Connor Bedard is pretty high up there in offensive zone entries. Like this guy, it's not like Andre Burakovsky's addition to this lineup in addition to Connor Bedard's wing. It's not like Andre Burakovsky's the guy pushing play, the guy that's getting the puck in his own zone and carrying it up the ice and making that first good pass in the offensive zone. It's been Connor Bedard every single time. It's been Connor Bedard every single time. And it's not just like Connor Bedard needs a defensive guy on his wing to do that work for him. Connor Bedard has been great on the forecheck. He's been great in his own zone. I challenge you, next time you watch the Chicago Blackhawks, watch how deep Connor Bedard goes into his own zone. And it's not even just to help defensively. It's also so that he can get on the puck. Like this year, Connor Bedard has been on the puck significantly more than the past 2 years. And it's because of the defensive strides he's made. He's been great defensively this year. And so in these first 15 games, I've watched a Connor Bedard who's defensively reliable. I've watched a Connor Bedard who is a true 1C. I've watched a Connor Bedard who's back-checking just as hard as he's forechecking. And I've watched a Connor Bedard who is completely unstoppable in the offensive zone with the slightest bit of space. And now that he's worked on his speed and he's significantly faster than he was the past 2 years, he's getting that time and that space in the offensive zone. And so I really don't understand this narrative because what I've watched thus far into this third year of Connor Bedard is completely contrary to what Steve Peters just said on this podcast. And so, yeah, I just think Connor Bedard is a guy that is going to do absolutely whatever it takes to win in this league. And he's also going to be a guy that elevates his teammates around him because he's done it his entire career. And I know we're only 3 years into it, but I don't get how you can see the evolution of Connor Bedard as a player and think to yourself, this is not going to be a guy that can drive play or be great on his own because he's already showing it. This isn't a couple years out thing. Like he's doing it right now in front of our very eyes. And so I think it's important for someone to talk about this in as a rebuttal to this narrative because it's not based on reality. It just hasn't been. He's been absolutely stellar for the Chicago Blackhawks, and it's only going to get more impressive. Like, seriously, put a couple of two-way guys on his line, stack the Frank Nazar line, just kill teams with your depth. Connor Bedard gives you the ability to do that, and that's what the best first-line centers in the National Hockey League do. That's all I've got. Thanks so much for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the content, please hit the subscribe button. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, and hit the like button on the video. Helps me out. Maybe hit that hype button too to spread the good word of Connor Bedard. People need to talk about this. It's gotten to a point where it's lazy. Like the common narratives around Connor Bedard, especially in the Celebrini. Like, look, I think Macklin Celebrini is a phenomenal player, but it feels like every sort of discussion that gets brought up between Bedard and Celebrini, people are writing Connor Bedard off as like this guy who does not care about the defensive side of the puck. And it's like, have we watched the games this year? He's done it every single night. So that's all I've got. Thank you guys so much. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.